Hello from the Dreamport Discord server. I'm Shadows Pub, bringing you Pimp Your Post Thursday. On the show today, we'll share a post, meet others, and have some fun. You can share your own post or share someone else's you really like. Take part, drop the PYPT emoji into the show text channel. I'll add you to the list. Take a turn sharing posts. When I call on you, add your post link to the text channel and come on voice to tell us about it. Keep it brief, like a short commercial for the post. If you can't do voice, it's okay. You can share by text, but text and link must be ready to paste into the text channel when I call on you. You can have more than one turn, but you must use the emoji for each turn. Okay, let's get started. And Amir has got his spot back at the top of the list.
Well, hello everyone. How are y'all doing? So I got back into watching BoJack Horseman season 6. I've reached season 6 and I posted my first impression of reaction. And yeah, Jay Fujit, great show, good show is what I would say. Because like it's not bad, but it's like maybe people oversold it, but like I'm watching it, it's like I'm not really that impressed. It has impressive episode, but this whole season like had a very slow start for me. And especially like I say in the post, like this whole he had a whole plot where he would go like his addiction would make him see stuff and it would take him to rehab. And I've seen that before in a show called House MD, and I've seen it done better there. And yeah, so I'm back on the show. So if anyone's interested, like, and I included all the previous stuff that I've reviewed. So yeah, if anyone loves the show or would love to correct me on some of the stuff I wrote, I'm open to hear them out.
So you're open to debate on your opinion on the show.
No, I'm not gonna debate them. I'm just gonna hear them out and you know block them.
I'll hear you out, but I'm not going to pay any attention to you. That's
Like
the real
yeah,
bottom line on it.
yeah, Jay, the writing is genius at certain spot. I don't know. I'll have a retrospective review after I'm done with the first impression stuff.
So, what's your opinion on the intro opening music? Because Fuji thinks that it's really good.
That's actually where I agree. Not the music, like the opening. I actually pointed out in the review as well, like the opening sequence that they do is actually pretty cool, and I really love it when people take like creative freedom to do that with like openings and endings, for the lack of better terms, like doing stuff with the music. They've also done it with the previous episode where they turned the lyrics into Vietnamese, but like broken Vietnamese. So it was like very nice stuff to hear about the show. But outs and they had brilliant. It's a very good show. It's like it's so far it gets like a solid 7 to 8 out of 10 from me.
Okay.
But the intro thing is like gets a 10, so it's one of the positive ones.
And Fuji says the voice acting cast is start-studded. I think he meant star.
No, no, maybe he means start started. Yes, it's filled with people who begin stuff.
Start-studded. Let's see. That's like stuttering with all the stars, is it?
Yeah, no, it's a very I don't know. I'll do a retrospective to see what like and read and hear what everyone is saying. Maybe when someone else says the idea, maybe that's when I'll be convinced by it.
Okay. Fair enough.
So I've taken a lot of time already, and it feels like I'm ordering over the conversation.
Yeah, we're gonna move on to Amy. Thank you, Amir.
All right, thank you for hearing me.
I think we're moving on to Amy. Amy, are you with us? There she is. Okay. Come on and tell us
Hello,
about this
everyone.
post. Hi, Amy.
Yeah, this post is a prompt from the Inkwell community. We're asked to write about our heritage. So I thought about writing on the waist bead. I know the waist bead is a popular accessory. To some ladies, it's just for fashion. Why in my culture it has deep-rooted significance. So I'd like you all to check it out so you could also learn about my culture and what this waist bead signifies in my culture. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I would never have thought of waist beads as being something with heritage, but yes, if it's part of your culture and it originates there, it would most certainly be. Thank you. See, you make me think of new things. Of course, she's the author. Who wouldn't be? Q, you being saucy. Blika says waist beads are historical, not just a fashion accessory. Interesting. Gonna have to check that out. Thank you, Amy. Fuji, you're up.
Hey everybody, here's the post. Populates. So recently, the Scholar and Scribe community, one of the mods there, Rocco, has led the charge on putting a spotlight on several of the people who have contributed content to the Scholar and Scribe writing community. I think Brendan was one of them for sure. I see her here. But we're really excited to announce the 2022 Scribe of the Year, who is Grace Pro, who is what led to our decision for that is that not only is she a super talented writer who's been pumping out content, she's also like 12 years old, which is incredible. And her father is indie band guru, who is also an active Hivian. So he got her into Hive, and once you realize she's such a young writer, the amount of talent pouring out of this person is crazy. So this post is written by Graka, and it highlights a lot of Grace Pro's writing in the Scholar and Scribe community. And just thought we'd highlight that here, and hopefully folks who haven't heard of her can go check out her stuff, give her a follow. She gets very excited with all kinds of, and with any feedback that she receives, and I think that's really important for growing a young author's passion and skill. So thank you.
12 years old, and you say she's producing a lot of content?
Yeah, she's writing all kinds of serials. Scholar and Scribe. She's got like a 17 chapter thing going. The Afterlife. She jumps into a lot of our contests, and like I don't know if she's ever placed in one of our contests. I've argued for it, but she always gets like honorable mentions and stuff.
Right.
And I keep trying to say like, folks, she's like 12. she's a better writer than many adults I'm aware of. Like her command of language is incredible. What do you got to factor that into your criteria, but often falls on deaf ears. So I was able to help get her recognized in this way, which was I think appropriate. And she's quite excited for the honor.
Because I'm assuming that in addition to her writing, she's also doing schoolwork.
Yeah, she's a kid at school,
Yeah.
and so like in 10 years she'll be maybe in a position to start looking at writing as more of a thing she does in a full-time basis. And if she's this good now, in 10 years she's going to be crushing it if she sticks to it. So hopefully Scholar and Scribe and things like this can keep that fire burning.
Yeah, and it may not even take 10 years in this environment.
Yeah, for sure, right? Just
Yeah.
get her a serial viral thing going, and she can cruise through grade 11 or 12 and then just jump right into crushing it as a author with like a show written around it and stuff like that. So all the best to her.
It could be an interesting history for her, or future for her history.
Yeah, there's
Brains
that meme.
function.
We watch your career and great interest. I don't know if that's it. Sorry, I'll mute myself.
Amir has decided it could only take nine years and 300 days.
I need that remind me thing.
Okay, Abdul Kudus, you are up.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning, or good evening.
Oh, that killed that
Um,
debate.
yes,
Okay, tell us about your post.
yeah, this is a post I made on the Hive Learner community. So it's like a prompt. We asked to discuss about two different things, which is in the online and the physical marketing. So, like we all know, we have different choices, and our choices varies from one another. So to me, I see physical shopping as something I prefer. So, and even in the article, I made a choice of physical shopping. So, like going to mall, going to markets, buy things, like feed it myself and see it. This is what I want to buy, rather than just shopping online. Though they have their own advantage and disadvantage. Shopping online come with its own advantage, and then the disadvantage also, like getting into scam, fraud, and other stuff like that. So, and I give an example of my brother. So he's even my other brother. He's into online shopping mostly. So that is it. Thank you.
All right. Yes, shopping online can be very convenient, but you do have to be careful of your sources.
Yes, not to fall into scams.
Yeah, generally speaking, if it looks too good to be true, it's probably not.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Q.
All right.
And Kitty Girl, you are up.
Well, I'd like to share a post link, but I don't want to talk about the post. I would much rather that the author, who is oftentimes very shy on mic, will come on and tell us about this lovely foggy morning.
Oh, James.
Okay, I heard that that guy was there's people that had told him that he's a first class primo major writer, and I just tell them they're full of hooey.
So,
So
tell us
so,
about
so
this hooey.
okay, so sometime at the beginning of the year, I started writing this post, and anyone that knows me really well knows that I have not really produced much all year long. I have not been in a writing mode. And so when I started this, I just thought I had a couple pictures that I had done, and those are um, created through the Gauguin. When that young man, that 7 year old, had the contest, I learned how to use that, and I had made a couple really nice ones, and I just made those, and I thought, well, let's check that out. So both of those are created with the Gauguin on the same day about a month ago or a month and a half ago. And so I've been picking at this. I've been going into drafts and picking at it. And I finally decided, you know what? Maybe I'll do something with it. And I showed it to Miss Kitty and I showed it to Britt. And both of them told me, get the thing published. It made a fantastic short story. So I wrote this on the premise that working in the world, that there is a point and a place that takes us back to nature, where we are totally comforted, and that's where the title came from. It's not very long, so I don't want to go into too much detail on it, but that's the basic surrounding of how it got started, and it took me like almost a year to write it.
Well, see, now you're in practice. It'll only take you 6 months to write the next one.
Yeah, exactly. I have. It's funny because I have about, I don't know, 4 or 5 other posts that are started, but a couple of them are political and according to a lot of things that are going on right now, and I kind of hesitated to post those. I still have work to do on them to clean them up and stuff like that.
Do
I
you
really
go ahead,
kind of
Kitty
like
girl?
I like the imagery in this post too. And I love the way that you worked in the word beguiles, because that's one that we don't hear too often. But the fog that beguiles anyone who dares trying to cross this particular threshold in the brisk early hours at sunrise. And I just love that. It's so poetic.
It's weird because when I did remember a couple days ago, I had mentioned that I was going to put the Spanish on it, and I went to do the translation, and I need a native Spanish speaker to reinterpret that because it doesn't come out that way in the Spanish. It doesn't come out with threshold. It comes out with the crest or some other term that was on there.
You may learn some Spanish out of this.
Well, it's strange because my daughter was married to a full-blooded Mexican, and I started to pick up Spanish then. So there's some of it I do understand pretty well, and I like to read and study that anyway. I've been studying that in German and Dutch um, periodically now.
Ah, so in regards to the posts that you've kind of procrastinating on getting done, you do kind of realize that if you shoot for perfectionism, that's the excuse for not doing it.
I had put that on my list.
I need an excuse for not doing it.
I I don't know. I don't know what post I read this on or where I read it about 3 days ago. This guy had a thing about it might have been on Hive, but I read this thing that this guy was saying. Oh no, it wasn't. It was in an email that I gotten from a doctor and a writer that I follow. And he says, you have to overcome procrastination. You could do it. You could do it real solid. Um, you gotta really put that on your list.
Which is an act of procrastination. Perfect. If you shoot for perfectionism, perfectionism will get you shot, says Amir. Yeah, you gotta love the people that are giving you the solutions, right? Hey, Balikas, you are up. I see you typing. Ah, there we go. And Balika says, "Good day, everyone. Happy New Year. Nobody knows the pain that Derby is facing. While the pain of childbirth is already eating her up, thoughts of how she will pay her hospital bills camped her in a in like a lost soul. Why did I bring a child into this world?" Derby voiced out loud. "Why on earth did I fall in love with?" And click to read more. Velikas is perfecting the art of keeping you on the hook. Velikas is avoiding her voice today. Does that mean you've got network issues? There we go. Ah, your voice is cracky. Well, maybe it needs practice. Thank you, Belikas. Amy, you are up. Maybe even drink a lot of water. And Amy is typing, so we're rolling there.
Okay, this post is about the silent battles and fears most tailors have. I'm sure it doesn't happen to just tailors. All of us have the silent battles and fears when it comes to our careers, our choices, especially when we've not tried out that thing before. If it's new and it's looking kind of hard, it feels overwhelming. So I shared my story on how I was able to overcome fear and my silent battle on tailoring. It's kind of funny. You can go read it out and see how I was able to conquer my fear. Thank you.
You never think of fear being in tailoring. You may bring a new perspective into things, Amy. Okay. And James. Oh, you put a previous one in Dream? How far back up?
Yes, very passive aggressively, it seems.
Hmm?
She dropped it right after Cutis dropped his post in.
Ah, okay. After he dropped his post or after he dropped his emoji in?
But I was
It's after he
saying
dropped his.
that one really is a second one too, though. So I have two now. I don't I think I'm still in the list, but
No, I didn't catch it. That's why I
oh,
asked.
okay, okay.
Do you know roughly where? Help me just to make sure that we're not leaving you too far behind. You go ahead and go now.
Actually, this is perfect. It was in between Amy and Graybeard. So
Perfect.
that's exactly where we are.
Nice. Thank you, kitty girl. So Dream, you're up. And we do lose Dream.
Hello?
So
Can you hear
there
me now?
she is. Yep.
Okay, sorry. I hit my I have a little thing on here that when you click it, it mutes you, and sometimes I don't realize I bump it. But yes, that other one that I put in there, that really is a second one. That wasn't like a reminder to you. Um,
That's
so yes.
okay. I would have just taken it as the second one because there was space in between. It's when they
Oh,
come
okay.
almost together, I kind of go, is that a reminder or what?
Oh, okay. Awesome. Okay, so this one's an easy one. It's our second week with the Inkwell, and Dreamers have been with the Inkwell for a full year now, so there's really not a lot to explain. Usually people understand exactly what they need to do, but just in case you're new to Dreamport, every month we collaborate with a new community, and the month of January is for the Inkwell. The challenge day is actually today. So we've been doing a lot of challenge days on Friday, but today is actually the day that you'll submit your post to Dreamport. So if you have already written a post for Inkwell, then just join in this week and drop it into Dreamport. If you go to dreamport.com, you can register and then you click above for the daily tasks, click on curate. You'll get 5 random posts for you to read and rate the way that you think are, the best one goes to the top and the one that you like the least goes to the bottom. And then when you're done with that, you can go back up to that, the daily tasks and click on submit and you can submit your own post. And then tomorrow, when people join into Dreamport, they will get 5 random posts, and maybe yours will be one that they'll actually read and engage with you and comment on. So it's kind of a pay it forward type of engagement platform. Um, and all of the prompts that are in there, they're right there in the link that I dropped. Inkwell has kind of branched out and done new things since the last time we were there. They now have creative nonfiction that you can write if you're maybe a little bit intimidated by writing fiction. They also have a fiction prompt, and they also have a secondary fiction prompt that's a monthly one. So if maybe you're not the kind of person that likes to write every week or every day, whatever, and you need a little bit more time to like flesh that story out, then you have a whole month. And the 3 links are in there for you to click on them and see what the prompts are. I believe I can tell you 2 of them. The creative nonfiction for this week is heritage, and that's what I'm actually writing on. The fiction for the month is fortress. And then I actually don't remember what the fiction one is for this week. So you'll have to click on the link and go see what it is. But yeah,
I went
jump
and
in.
I went and looked yesterday.
And the link was broken?
No, I looked in the Inkwell to see if to have a look at the post for the fiction prompt for this
Uh-huh.
week, and I didn't see a fiction prompt post. I saw the creative nonfiction, but I didn't see a fiction one.
Yeah, they usually do the prompt for the creative nonfiction on Sunday, and then the fiction comes on Monday, and it might have been late on Monday. But it's in my post there. I just
Okay.
the link was broken for me yesterday, so I had to update it, but now it's working. Okay, so Treasure says the fiction prompt is to create, and Amy says that as well. So Amir. No, Jay Fuji is not angry. We actually were with Scholar and Scribe for a month too, and I'm sure that we will join up with them for another collaboration this year because it was super fun. It's just this particular month is for it's for the Inkwell.
So Amir's tried to stir the pot,
He really is.
and Jordy's just going, no, not really.
Yes, please do, Jay Fuji. I think we are scheduled out until March. So yeah, April is open. If you want April, just come find me. And just so everybody knows, we've actually been supporting the whole entire last month with Scholar and Scribe. All of the posts that Graco was using, they bought an entire month of featured posts on Dreamport. So yeah, we've been supporting them that way too, and that's been pretty cool. I will tell you this: if you go to the post that Jay Fuji shared with Grace Pro's post, if you write a comment saying that you are there because of Dreamport or that you're a dreamer and you engage with her genuinely, you will be entered into a drawing. On all of the featured posts, we had bounties, and we would randomly choose any of the dreamers that were on the comment section to win 100 dream tokens. But for this final one, we're doing 100 dream tokens, 3 HBI, and Scholar and Scribe also kicked in 400 scholar tokens. So there is a nice size bounty on that post by Graco that Jay Fuji shared. So definitely go there. And I'll tell you this: if you also say that you saw it from PYPT, I will enter you into the drawing. So you can say you're a dreamer or that you saw it on PYPT, since that's part of Dreamport as well. Then yeah, we will enter you in. And I think on Sunday we'll hold the drawing for the whoever wins. So yeah, do that. Awesome. Okay, thank you. The end.
You actually pulled it off today. You uh, had Kitty Girl drop the end a little early.
I saw that. She thought I was ending it, and then she was like, "Oh no,
You
she's still
tricked
going."
her. You
I
tricked
tricked her
her.
today.
Well, I had my finger on the enter key, and then I actually had to cough, and I didn't get my finger away in time.
Oh, that's hilarious. The cough. We'll blame the cough.
The cough will do
Hi,
it to you.
Kenny.
It's not the cough, it's the cough when they carry you off it.
So, Dreamy, how are you doing weather-wise and with the effects thereof? Are you okay?
Yeah, today is actually super calm. Like when the winds were I mean, we got a tornado in Southern California. I mean, sorry, Central California, which is insane. There was hurricane warnings and tornado warnings, and we're all like, "What?" And sure enough, there was a funnel cloud.
Whoa.
And there was floods, and the water like washed out our road. We only have two ways off the mountain, and one of the ways is now completely gone, and I don't know when they're going to be able to fix it because the road is completely gone. I'll as when we finish up here, I'll just drop in pictures so you can see. But the flooding was insane. I mean, it's never risen that high before. The guy who's been here for 25 years said he's never seen that happen. The water actually was coming into the buildings. We're up pretty high. We're the highest house here, so we weren't in any danger of flooding. But there was a ton of rock slides and a ton of mudslides, and that would have been dangerous for us. Thankfully, my backyard is literally the national forest. So there's a lot of trees and their roots help to keep all of the, the erosion from happening. So even when it gets soaked with water, it stays in place. But any of those places where like the mountains are like, sheer kind of cliff on that one side, oh my gosh, when that goes, the whole thing just goes. But I was talking to my husband the other day and he was like, oh, the snow and the sleet and the ice and everything. And literally, as we were talking, he goes, and it just stopped. And I'm like, what stopped? And he goes, everything. It literally, I can see blue sky. And I thought, oh my goodness, is that the eye of the hurricane? I was like, don't go outside, Joe. But then, yeah, it just literally stopped. The clouds broke. And from then on, we haven't had anything. And I'm really excited about that for travel next week. And so hopefully everything stays okay from now on. So we're doing fine and things are kind of calming down. But thanks for asking.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
And I can add to a little bit of good news, I hope. I had a
Please
call
tell me.
I had a call from the insurance company today, and it appears
Yay.
they are going to repair the pipes.
Oh, wonderful. Yay for water. I was out of
Well,
water
I
for
haven't
a
got
day
it
and a
yet.
half. Right, but it's coming. I can't stand not having water. I would rather have no power than no water. It makes me feel so unsettled to not be able to like clean and wash my hands and it just makes me crazy.
Well, the plumber still has to come out and do an assessment and give them a quote, and then we'll go from there. But at least they're now talking along the lines of they will pay for it.
That's
Well,
wonderful.
after I pay my deductible.
Yeah, so glad for that.
So we'll see what happens. Thank you, Dream. And James, you're up. Boy, he was ready and waiting. I see it lit up, but I don't hear you. And you're lit up, and I don't hear you. Discord's picking on you. And drop out and come back in, see if that clears it. Yeah, it was working so beautifully before. And still don't hear you.
That's a shame. He's got such a nice voice.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating when you can speak one moment, you can't the next. Okay, we can circle back. Abdulquddus, you're up.
Okay. Um, this is a this is an article that was written by Princess Busayo. So this article is all about a visit to the village. So where she had to meet with her grandma, or let me say her grandparents. So her grandma got a little bit ill that she couldn't even feed herself anymore. So what was a little touching about the uh, her article was that she said in life we just have to live. Like there are times when her grandma was the one feeding, like maybe when she was the one feeding her, like feeding Princess herself when Princess was small. But now Princess is now the one feeding grandma. So like life is all about stages. So you can't just live on like that. So and the more we get older, the more we get weaker again. So we return back to our former stage in life. So that's what I see about the post. And thank you. You can just take time and check it out.
All right. Thank you, Q. And yes, sometimes life goes full circle.
Yes, it's like circle. All right.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And James has his voice back. We hope.
Okay, am I
There he
good?
is.
Yeah, I had moved at one point, and I think I had kind of unplugged myself here physically. So I'm back. So I don't know if I've ever shared this before, but Britt had started a while back. She's been doing this for a while. She started doing um, an evaluation of all of the people that we feature in Hey, Have You Met? And she it's kind of a thing where we she wants to know if they have done extra posts since they had been introduced, or if they have been put off by something or whatever. So she's been doing this project. I've been trying to get her to open an account on that exact account, but she's been insisting on doing this on her own account. So I can't say anything about it. She's pretty stubborn. But this is a really good project she's got going. It's just visiting all the newbies and the work that they've done.
That's good. Do a follow up with it.
Uh, well, I've tried to get her in here, and she's always told me that, well, it's dinner time, and I gotta feed the boys, so she can't make it.
So you'll just have to do it on her behalf. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. Oh, wait, does that mean I have to write something again?
Well, either that or use her posts. But
That's
writing
why I'm.
writing something would be good.
Well, that's kind of what I can't believe this lady actually posts other stuff, and she actually has time to. Um, she is stubborn.
And you're not.
Oh no, I will confess my stubbornness. I am like a mule.
Yeah, so it's
Once I make
pot
up
meet
my mind.
kettle.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so yeah. So the thing is I can't believe that she invests that kind of time in. I mean, you go through the post, and she's gone and visited every single one of the people that she listed on there, and she still posts other stuff for herself also. So I don't know how she finds all this time, but she's got a hell of a good project going. And we were gonna start one up a while back. I actually made up a logo and everything for it and an account for hey, have you heard this or whatever? I don't remember exactly how I turned, but it was about reintroduction because our project is about generally is about people that need the help. They don't get they put out pretty good posts, but they need the help and the exposure because they're brand new. And so I don't feature anybody. I'm seeing guys with 60 and 70 rep doing introduce yourself posts, and it's ridiculous. That's like me doing one now after what, 4 years, 3 years, however long I've been here.
Well, of course, because we have no idea who you are. And I'm betting that Brit finds the time because she doesn't keep putting stuff on her list. She just does it.
Yeah, that's probably really true.
Thank you, James. And Amir, you're up.
Mhm. All right, so this one actually just came up to it. First of all, this is a very old post. Like, don't bother upvoting it. I wrote it all the way back in 2021, but it's actually triggered by something like the conversation about perfectionism. And this story actually deals with that. As you can see, it's called Not a Bad Story or The Broken Cog of a Perfect Neoliberal Wheel. I was trying to be fancy there. Anyway, it's actually about this person who's trying to make everything perfect, and it's about this moment of like basically the moment it's the story starts around the time he broke down and he's trying to pick himself back up. And one thing I did with this story is that I called the voice in his head the narrator, and I made him tell this story in his in the first person perspective, which it was a very cool experiment and something to do. But the story is about perfectionism in everything, because I don't know. There's this thing that people always talk about, and they talk about it as something good, which is everyone says in their CVs and stuff, I'm a perfectionist, and this story is kind of anti that, and basically he tries to put his life back together after an attempt to end his life, and it's basically we pick up from there, and we found out that these voices of perfectionism go all the way back to his parents and society as a whole, as he always compares himself to megastars on megastars like The Rock and people like that. And I don't know, it's I think
I think
you all
many
might
of us,
enjoy it.
I think many of us were raised with that voice of, if you're gonna do it right, gonna do it right, or don't do it at all, is the tone that is kind of thrown out there, and a lot of us opt for the don't do it at all.
Yeah, exactly, and something like that. And I paint a contrast between him and his brother, like submitted to the dark side, which is it goes both ways. One
Mm-hmm.
way is someone completely giving up,
By the way, Amir, don't tell
or
the whole story or nobody will go read it.
well, yeah, yeah. Anyway, so that's it.
Okay, thank you,
It's
Amir. Oh, Wes has joined us. Is he in the voice or is he? Yes, he is. Good to see you, Wes. And Dream, you're up. Oh, that's kind of hard to drive on. I like that approach, Alessandra.
So the entire road just caved in. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
water is powerful stuff when it gets moving. Uh-oh. Okay.
Oh, okay, I hear you now. It just totally shut off. I think I'm on Discord on my phone and Discord on my computer, and the computer one just shut off. Um, is is it my turn yet?
It
Did I
is.
miss that? Oh,
It's your
okay.
turn.
All right, here we go. So this is a post that is, I'm going to say this in a funny way, one of the worst posts that I've read.
I loved
But
it, but
it's
I hated it. I hated it, but I loved it.
yes, and my comment in the comment
Can we have
section
the
was
post? Can we have the
yes.
post?
Yes, sorry. My comment in the comment section was, Sam, this was terrible. And she was like, "What?" I said, "No, but the thing is, it was beautiful how you wrote it because it was just so real. But it was so real and so terrible that I just wanted to claw my skin off because anybody who has struggled with depression, or that really, dark place, those feelings of isolation and just feeling terribly alone, you will read this and it may trigger you, because she just wrote it so powerfully. So I told her it was written beautifully and I loved it, but I hated it. So she was like, I said, "Is this the worst comment that you've ever gotten?" She's like, "I think this is the worst comment, but I see what you're saying." But yeah, definitely go read it. It's a poem, so it'll only take you about a minute to read it. Um, but wow, what she captures in just a few words is so powerful and really, really, really good, but really bad.
And that actually is kind of an interesting description because Sam can be wordy.
Yes, and it's actually really succinct. When you see it,
Ah,
even her lines only have a few words in each one. And I think that helps with the rhythm and also just kind of feeling like you're getting punched with each line because it doesn't even give you a chance to let that line soak in until you're getting hit with another line and hit with another line. And it's just darkness and fear and sadness and grief, and it's powerful. So yeah, go love on that and be happy that she's actually not in that place while she's writing it. She's writing from a moment where she's kind of recalling, and then she adds in like a fictional kind of aspect where she's imagining what it would be like to be in that situation. So I won't tell you anymore. Go check it out, read it yourself, enjoy it. The end.
All right. All right. Balikas, you are up. Oh, Balikas is going to do text today. Amir, would you read that, please?
Yes. Deserted beauty. Many have lost their sanity in this brutal world, leaving us with soulless bodies. It becomes very hard to think right because nothing seems to work. All we have is a dream in a world where reality slaps us hard in the face with failure. This puts us in our darkest hour as we sit and hope for light, something beautiful to lighten up our day. But it hurts when we see that the beauty we hope for has deserted our world. It is common knowledge that a picture is more than 1,000 words. Therefore, I ask, what are your words in this? Click to read more on the word posted. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you, Amir, and thank you, Balikas. Oh, how far is that away from you?
That was down the mountain, so I was safe. But actually, when that hit, I was only about maybe 10 minutes away. So, yeah.
What's Pidgin?
What's what?
Pigeon?
I don't know. Sorry. I was reading. Let me respond in text and not take over this.
That's a pretty awesome picture, Dreamy. It really is.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. Really cool. It's cool when you can be safe from it. You don't want to be too close.
When you can be back far enough to be watching what's going on.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. That's quite a picture that Balikas has got on that story of hers. You could play all kinds of stories on that one. Ah, Engine says he used to storm chase. Glad you didn't catch any. Amy, you are up. Ah, I see her typing. There we go. Okay, Amy, come tell us about this.
Okay, I read this post about 2 or 3 days back, and I was well pleased with the post. It talked about the 3 ingredients that spice up a relationship, be it with your friends, your husband, your mom, or any kind of relationship. And she talked about the I love you, I'm sorry, thank you. You could go check them out, and she expatiated more on the I'm sorry, why it's hard for people to say sorry. And I don't want to give you all of the gist. Just go check it out. It's really nice. Thank you.
Thank you, I love you, and I'm sorry. And check out why those are important. Okay, guys. Grindan has a request in the channel. Doesn't want you to fight in front of her. You know that she hates it. And Benazir, you are up. Okay, come on and tell us about this. Oh, you didn't, you're going to type. Listen to the serenading voice of Hope as she sings a song that means so much and brings memories to her. I think that the way she sings is joyful, contagious, and a breath of fresh air. Very nice. AfriTunes Week 43 is where um, Benazir is posting from. You guys are being nuts, and I love it. And that means that Kene is up next.
Hello,
Hello.
Kenny. Uh-huh.
Good to see you,
Good
stranger.
evening. I'll soon jump off, but something's happening.
And things are
So that's
better?
the post. Yeah, things are happening, things with electricity and a whole lot of other things, but well, we're overcoming them one after the other.
So,
So that's the post sharing, and that's something new for me because ever since I started writing, I've been playing around with non-fictional stuff. But I finally decided to try something that edged towards fictional story. I published it yesterday, and it's about agreeableness and disagreeableness. So anyone that wants to get the details can just check out the post. And of course, I look forward to any feedback, any criticism, whatever you have to say about it. Every tip is appreciated. Thank you.
so you took a shot at fiction. Good for you.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to do it. Even I have written fiction so far this year. So see, it can be done. And James, you are up. By the way, anybody who has posted every day since January the 1st, keep going because HiveBuzz now has a badge for the yearly author. James, you're up. Yes, yearly. 1st of January to the 31st of December. Um, is James having problems? Or did I miss the link? Nope. James. He must be distracted at the moment. Okay. Seki, you go ahead and then we'll catch up to James when he returns to whatever planet he's on.
Hello, am
Hello,
I?
Seki.
I don't know. I have to ask first if I'm being
Whoop.
here because afternoon,
I, th- I think
whoever's over there.
you're cutting out a little bit there, Seki. Let's give it a whirl and see how things go.
Okay, I'm being here. So, uh, okay, I think this should be better, right?
That sounds better. Go for it while we got it.
This is an article I wrote for the STEM community. I rather read the article file, rewrote. I don't know. I also rewrote again about it here, but the links to the first article I read is there. So it's just an article about what I've read, like how lionesses could grow out a mane. So like it's a really interesting stuff. It's not There's not really much on the article, so I won't just say everything out here, but like just go check it out. I see that really Nala can become Simba. Whoever gets the pun there. So that should be it from me, Seki. Thanks.
Thank you, Seki. Okay, has James returned? And Chris, good to see you, Chris. Don't worry, I ain't leaving. Just want to say it's been refreshing, so nice to tune into the show again. My work always has me working on Thursdays, but once I have had the day off, so nice to hear you all. Well, I hope you get more days off. What employer in their right mind has you working on Thursday? Do they not know you have priorities? And Jordy, you have won the 1 HBI. Still haven't got James' attention back. Oh, Amy just learned something. Okay, Amy, you are up.
Yeah, and this post is a poetry. It in our search for peace, we tend to isolate ourselves from some things, some people, in order for us to reflect and in order for us to be able to grow. So you guys should just check this work of poetry out. I did some rhyme scheme like A B, and some other things there. You can just check it out. Thank you.
Oh, she's a poet too. All right. And I see Seska has joined us. There's always next year, Chris. Although, if you start back up and stay on track, you can get those monthly and weekly ones, so they kind of accumulate too. And then you'll be in practice for next year. These things do work. James, are you back with us? How do you figure you got robbed on the monthly one, Jordy? James must have got distracted. Sure to Chiefs, but didn't get it. It's that, having to go from the first of the month to the last day of the month, and it's so easy to just miss one. Yeah, this is true, Jordy. Okay. It looks as though James is still not back with us. Yeah, I've kind of mentally got myself in the habit that I've got a deadline of 6:45. If I haven't got it in by then, it's time to write a debuzz for the day. Because debuzzes count. Okay, Seki, you're back up. James is just gaslighting us. He's just not there. Seki, do you have a post? There we go.
I am back up. This is my post for Three Tunes Tuesday by Ablaze. I was just recovering from my previous illness, so I didn't really have time to do anything. So just the first three tunes from my shuffle playlist, and I put it out there. Real nice tunes, by the way. So yeah, y'all should go check it out. And also, the cover image was made by me. True, very sharp aesthetics right there. So thanks.
And you're so bashful about them, I could tell.
Of course, I am. Like, it looks like something I could sell if I knew how to do NFT. Like, bro, see the randomity of the, if that's the word, randomity or randomness. Yeah, that sounds much better. The randomness of the backdrop of the background. Sorry, the music, the drums, the play, everything just it fits in so well. I like, wow, this is this is magical. Yeah. It's like something I would steal from the internet. I'll say yes, it's mine. I will not talk to anybody.
So you
I'll
do know
just put it out there.
you
But I didn't steal it though. So
you do know that
ma,
Hive has a NFT dApp. So you could try your hand at making an NFT.
I could. Although I'm still waiting for five my five rank dream merge card. So once I guess I'm at a four, I don't know which card exactly, but like I'm at four, like first country of stage four, or if it's something like that. But I think you understand what I mean. So like once I get stage five, I'll mint it and see what's going on in NFTs.
Ah, so you've put it on the list.
I'm almost there. I can feel it. Maybe my next like card I'll end now. I think you give me that stage three or stage four right off the bat. I can feel it in my bones.
Go for it then. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Seki. So James has checked in. He did have a phone call that he was dealing with. He'll be back in a few moments. So Benazir, go ahead.
There's actually two NFT dApps on Hive. There's, besides NFT Showroom, there's NFT Mart, MART.
NFT Mart is disregard fiat, isn't it? Or is that another one?
I forget who runs it. I can't keep up with that all. It's a wonder I remember that the dApp is there, much less who runs.
Uh, Benazir says, Coco, I think the simians are plotting against our race. Look at them. I see the creeping and whispering in dark shadows and corners. It's like they are planning something. Coco, why have they called for a conclave tonight? Le- Lenolna, that's an interesting name, spoke in a hushed tone as they passed by a troop of gorillas swinging from tree to tree in the cold, breezy evening. So read this fictional story to find out what happened between the simians and the humans millions of years ago. That is a well written uh, teaser. Well done. I think that some dreamers are getting into fiction this month. So we had John G. Olson on the uh, Hive Space on Tuesday evening, and he was talking about Views, which is his latest project where you can go and kind of stir up content in more in a way that you can explore certain tags sort of thing. So one of the things he was talking about is that as Views develops, they are going to go back to the point that there can be posts coming up that go right back to the genesis block of the chain, which means that some of your older content could end up being turned up and being read. And you're thinking about what's the sense because it's over 7 days old, I can't earn on it. Well, you can be tipped, and there is a dApp called Buy Me Berries that you can be sent tips in HBD. So if you're kind of getting your post ready for the possibility of being seen more often, you might want to start adding that to your posts. It's a neat little dApp. It's very similar to Buy Me a Coffee that is available on Web 2. And Seska, you are up. It's Hive. Yep. Yeah, it's just a little. It's just like a little banner that goes on into your post, and it says "Buy me berries," and you click on it. It'll take you through to the person's Buy Me Berry page, which is actually a post, and they can put in how much they're gonna tip you. Seska here says, I was reading a post from Mary JC and got to know that this community is new to Hive. I don't know if it's new or refurbished, but I think it's going to be a healthy community for us here in Hive. By the way, this is a contest post, and anyone who has a lot to talk about health and skin should participate, and don't forget to join the community. So anybody that has seen JDR, this is a community he's been part of getting started. Thank you, Wes. There's the link for Buy Me Berries. Definitely, Jordy. Daps for the win. I need to get in the habit of adding it. I've got it set up, but I haven't been using it. That's a little bit more incentive to do so. Yes, Wes, you were mentioning about that. Got a lot of creative ideas are coming out. And Amy, you are up. Although, James, you're back, are you? Ah, yes. There's the link to the recording on the show. There she is. Okay, Amy, tell us about this.
Post. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. This post is quite an old post. But it's just talking about the struggles men go through. And the society today, men were taught to hide their feelings, they were taught to bottle up pain. They believe that if they become vulnerable, people see them as a weakling. So they hide so much pain from people and they go through a lot too. But most times we only talk about the pain the female goes through. So here it's me being an advocate for the men. I wrote about some of the silent battles or struggles men also go through. So if you're a guy, go check this out. I became an advocate for you. Thank ya.
All right. Thank you, Amy. And Seska has won the 3 HBI. Yes, real men cry. And James, you're up.
I think his message in chat a minute ago meant that he would be ready in about 5 minutes. He's finishing up a phone.
Ah, okay, now I get it.
Yeah, he put emoji in about 5.
Yeah, I gotta get the post and everything. I'll come back up in a minute.
Well, oh, okay. Amy's got another post, so we'll let her go ahead. And then James.
Stay firm.
Go for it, Amy. Who are you advocating for this time? Oh, Amy must be looking for the link. She wasn't expecting to go so quickly. Amy. Advocate, don't constipate. Yes, this is true. Some people do that. There we go. And go for it.
Yeah, I never knew I would be looking for the link. So this purse here, it's one of the outfit I made. A tulle skirt. I made it for some dancers in my hood. The beauty about this post is how people dancers to me. I wasn't aware that they needed a designer to make their clothes. So here it's just like when you're good at what you do, your job speaks for you. Probably people have soon for referred those dancers to me. So you could just check them and I wrote some steps on how to achieve these two skirts. Thank you.
Amy Couture, the photo girl. Oh, photo grid. There we go. Is that what you call your business, Amy?
Yeah, that's my business. That's my brand's name, Amy Couture.
Ah, very nice. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
And James, are you ready? Yes, he is.
Okay, so this is another intro that we had done just a little bit ago. And this guy here has started up, he went through all this hassle about starting up a community for this, that, and other thing. And it's tailored down to, I only said that because Siki1 has put Taylor there. I don't know why I saw that. But um, he has, I think it's actually people to help with people with problems so that they can write in that community and get compliments and get um, advice and other kind of information that would help their situation and not damage anything worse than it already is. We already know several people who have been under fire for several different reasons, from people making an introduce yourself post when they pour out their heart and their freaking post gets muted, and it gets old. There's a lot of crap that goes on for a lot of the people that do have issues. I'm not going to preach now, um, and actually I'm going to shorten this up real quick. um, that's the whole point. This guy's community is for people that like, no, quit it, Wes. um, so people that have issues that need consolation and need validation and help with some of the stuff they're going through, this would really help them out. So I applaud that particular community. Yeah, there we go.
Nothing like being able to focus completely and nobody distracted you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Whitty came on. I like your shirt. Oh, thank you. Oh, wait, hold it. I'm not on video. That's a damn good thing too.
How do you know you're not on video?
Because I don't have a camera on this monitor.
Oh, okay. Great fun and games. And we always seem to have great fun and games. Okay, who's won the 5? Seke has won 5 FHBI. So there you go, Seki. And Kitty Girl, you are up.
Well, since Wes can't come on to voice because he has sick grandkids at home, um, I thought I would share this post. This is a young lady. I, I guess you would pronounce her username Bemier, Bemier. Um, she's from Turkey, so I don't think that it would be pronounced like the French Bimier, Bimier. She's new
Yeah,
to,
the French version usually has an N in it.
yeah, true.
That's only
But
if she's curvy.
James, go ahead, Kitty Girl.
well, anyway, this young lady is new to Hive, so it would be good, I think, to pop onto her post and welcome her to the blockchain. But the post itself is really well written, and especially if you consider that that English is not her native language. And I'm not sure if she does understand English. We were talking to her in the terminal and she did not need a translator. And she was responding to us fairly quickly as if she weren't using one to type what she says. So I think she's at least somewhat fluent in English, but I don't know if she wrote this in English or if she translated the post, but the wording is really quite beautiful. It's describing a dark topic of depression, and she does have a lot of health issues. She doesn't really go into them in depth here. She does allude to them a little bit, um, but yeah, I think the post is very well written. She's also very artistic. Um, the the picture that she originally had in the post was one that she had found on Pinterest and could not be used um, on Hive without running into problems. So we advised her to change the image, and she did. But she, in process, said, well, what if I were to draw my own version of that other picture and use it? And I told her, yeah, especially if you say my artwork inspired by da 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 and credit it, that's perfectly fine. And she was thrilled with that possible solution to in future posts. So she's really appreciative of the advice that we're giving her, which is good. She's a delight to chat with. I'd love to get her here in PYPT sometime, but she definitely deserves a welcome to Hive in her post.
Sounds interesting. Quite often, people who suffer with depression do have some creativity streaks. Thank you, kitty girl. And Amy, you're up. Amy? There she is.
So this is a fiction I wrote on the Inkwell community. It was a prompt. The prompt was about faith. So this story here is about a young girl who, let's say, fate brought someone to her life, someone she had known for long, but she never thought of them being together. So along the line, something happened that made her realize that this person was the person for her. So eventually, they got to meet, and fate took its course. So you could just go read it and find out what happened and how she was able to identify this guy as her own.
Very nice. Thank you, Amy. I think the Inkwell might be getting a little busy with uh, fiction this month. Wes has said, pardon the introduction, my heart is not enough for my brain. That's the test results.
He dropped
Oh,
that in.
that's another one of her posts.
Yeah, he was responding to James's comment about her writing a second post.
Right.
I was hoping she would do an introduce yourself post, but I did, apparently at this point she's not ready for it yet.
She'll do one in time.
I
Maybe she'll
hope
wait
so.
till she
She's a
gets to
good
level
writer.
60.
or higher. I
Yeah.
seen somebody. I seen somebody that started a long time after me the other day. Yesterday, as a matter of fact. That's a 74 rep or 76 rep or something.
And he just figured out he'd never done an introduction?
Uh, I have no idea. I didn't go back on his timeline all the way back.
Some people really don't like writing introductions, so I can understand the delay. And then,
Well, I have noticed there are a lot of people that have just come on the blockchain within the last year or two that are already 75, 77, 79 rep. It's unbelievable. They're getting some massive support from some of the big whales and projects on the platform. Yeah, there was a person, just the other day who's been on the platform less than a year and is 75 rep, which is much, much higher than I am, having been here for 5 years. And you
and it's
look
higher
and
than me.
they're posting to the right communities to get, brushing elbows with the whales and whatnot, that they're getting good rewards on their post. And of course, that's what influences rep. It's when somebody much, much higher than you upvotes your post.
Are they maybe also doing some investing and doing some self-voting as well?
Not that I have seen, no.
Okay. Because while we generally frown on the self-voting, um, there are some of the whales that actually think it's an appropriate thing to do.
That is dead on accurate. There are whales that are making money while we sit here and not making very much on posts and in our accounts.
It happens.
Exactly, pimp. That's on too.
Yeah. We just keep plugging along and building. That's just the way it is. And James, you're up.
Okay. So we have a. I think one of his posts has been shared in here before. It seems. Bambuka is a developer that worked on. He built up some kind of super hive app, and he's working on developing all these improvements. Well, he put this post out the other day. I haven't read it completely through, but I know I've seen a couple comments on it, and it is an excellent post from the comments I've read. And I believe Miss Kitty was one of them. So, and I know if there's a um, if there's a critique like that, then I know that he's putting out really good stuff. And apparently, a lot of the stuff he's doing is for the betterment of Hive. So, with that, I'll leave it at that. I'm going to finish reading the entire post, and I think I'm actually going to go to his server and talk to him and start learning some of this stuff for the developers end of things.
So, what is Superhive?
Superhive is some kind of an app that he's developed. I don't have it, but it's some kind of an app that I think is like a front end to the Hive blockchain that is supposed to be in a real good. It's supposed to add benefits that maybe the other front doors don't have, the front ends don't have. I think Miss Kitty could probably even answer a little bit more accurate than the answer I could give.
Yeah, imagine somebody said, gee, we need something like WordPress, but based on Hive. That's what SuperHive is.
Okay,
It's
so,
it's a tool that will allow people um, to go in and create their own, get their own domain, shadowspub.com or whatever. You can have all of your Hive content onto it. You can comment. People can log into it and comment, and you can reply back to them. I'm not sure if he has got a full blogging engine on that or not, but I know he is constantly in development. And there have been several people that have used his tool to create their own website that has all of their Hive posts flooded to it. Bambuka also has set up the Hive multi-staker tool. If you've got like 50 tokens in a Hive engine and you want to stake all of your new tokens at once, you can do it. Bam. It's so fast and easy. He was the first person to create an RC delegation tool after RC delegations became available at the last hard fork. He was the very first dev to offer a tool. So he's really on top of things. And this post that he has written is not telling people how to use Markdown. He's telling people that do use Markdown how to make it work on all the front ends. Because sometimes you author a post on Ecency or PeakD or HiveBlog and it doesn't look right on the other front ends. And this post will help you figure out what you're doing wrong to make it look good everywhere.
ah, so if someone is going to produce something that is like WordPress, I certainly hope that they're also producing something that you can do both posts and pages, because that's what's missing on Hive at the moment, the ability to create pages that go with your account.
Well, I could not answer that.
Yeah.
I'm not a user of WordPress, and I have not yet played around with Superhive, so I couldn't answer that. But I will definitely pass that tidbit on to Bambuka for you, though. Thank you.
So the difference is that your blog post, your posts keep moving down as you add more stuff onto it. Where a page remains static and is easily accessible, it can be accessed from the menu. So, for example, the 10-part primer that I have on getting started on Hive, that could go on a page instead of having to be pinned at the top of my blog in order to be found. I could put it on a page and there'd be just a link to go to it. That's what
Okay,
the
yeah.
benefit would be. So it'd be really cool to have something like that on um, I'm just watching the WordPress East builder for Hive front ends would be amazing for the SNES front end vision. I hear you on that one too. So that is something that would be cool to be available on the blockchain and readily available.
Okay, I can understand that. I'll
Yeah.
definitely pass that on to Bambuka. Thank you.
Thank you, Kitty Girl. And Amy.
Well, and thanks to James for thinking of sharing that post. I think that's a perfect post to
Oh, right. I forgot
present with
James
PYPT.
shared it. Thank you for bringing that back up. Um, Amy, are you sure or is this everybody's writing on the same picture and that's why
Yeah,
I'm.
this is a picture is what more a
Okay, go
thousand
ahead.
words. It's I think it's a weekly prompt on the free writers community.
So
So that's the picture
it's a
we're asked
picture
to write on.
it's a picture prompt rather than a word prompt.
Yes, a picture
Okay.
prompt. So I made a fictional story about a guy who wanted to visit his girlfriend, wanted to surprise his girlfriend. But when he got to the street, something happened. I'm not going to spill what happened, so you could just check it out and see what happened. And something else happened after what happened, and he was relieved and he was happy. So you could just check it out. And finally, he was able to surprise his girlfriend. If the street light didn't come on, he would have ruined the surprise. So just go check it out and see what happened and how he was able to overcome it. Thank you. My
Okay.
battery is low now. I have to run.
Thank you, Amy. Um, you sound so happy about them there, Engine. What legacy stuff are they still carrying? And
Probably
James,
from the prior blockchain.
ah, I kind of got the impression that the amount of development that's being done on, yeah, I noticed that one the other day. But isn't that actually Peak D and just their original name on the witness?
It was
Yes,
and they
it is.
folded.
Pardon?
It was and they folded. They took it away. They just completely ended it. They what they called sunsetted it.
And yet,
That was the only other front end we had if we wanted to work on that blockchain also. That was the only other front end we could use because, like a lot of the guys here that came from there, I did not like using Steam, the original, the one like Highblog is. I liked Steam Peak.
yeah, that
Yeah,
wasn't actually my question, James. Um, I Engine was talking about the Steam Peak account is the number three witness here on Hive, and I was just asking if it was the PYPT and just using the old account name, but apparently they have a PYPT account, so they should be using that for their witness.
Yeah, it's from the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think all of those old names should be retired. That's what we did with the terminal. We were originally Steam Terminal back when we were on the Steam blockchain, and we completely retired that name and rebranded and trying to get people to switch the logos. We keep finding those darn old logos popping up occasionally. James found one the other day. I need to delete.
I think most of the better dApps on the platform have dropped the Steam, and I think a lot of them are avoiding putting Hive in just in case.
But it's so pervasive. I was on hive.vote the other day, and if you click here and here and here, far enough down into the app, you'll find the name Steam again. And it's like, oh no, not again.
It's often hard to ferret out. I know when I do refresh on my graphics on some of my websites, I can be months later after I think I've covered every single one of my graphics and I've updated them, and all of a sudden I'll click a link and up comes the old graphics, and it's, oh Christ, I miss that. So it's not that hard to have that struggle, but you at least got to make the attempt, not just bring out your old account and have it up number 3 on the witness list.
Yeah, and in response to Seki's question there in chat, yes, there were different dApps for front ends. Most of them have been retired, except for the default. But like Steam Peak, they retired that. Yeah. Oh, Partico. Yeah, I love that app. It's a shame that that one went away.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, we've had a few projects that kind of have disappeared, but geez, we've got so many others that are coming out.
Yeah, and even the old, like when I joined, besides the Steam It front end, there was busy.org, and that one went away too. There's one that was launched by a Chinese or Korean group, and it's called Steam Zahan or something like that. That's out there. There's one or two others, but they're all fairly new. None of the old ones are around.
And Dbuzz has done a revamp. Alessandra, do we have a date for when Dbuzz is going to be on Hive Space?
Oh, that's a calendar thing, isn't it?
It is. Dates are on
Ah.
calendars.
Oh, jeez Louise. Yeah, I made a boo-boo. I double booked us, so I have to figure out.
Okay.
Is that Jennifer's contact?
Jennifer's
It's so
contacted Dbuzz.
it's
It
so
was supposed to
embarrassing to.
be. It was
Hi,
supposed to
I'm
be
meeting you
next
for.
Tuesday.
Oh, right. Yeah, so I've got us double booked.
Okay,
I
well,
got.
we'll leave you to sort that one out, and I won't promote it here
I'm
until we have a
writhing.
date.
I'm writhing in pain over here.
Okay.
But I have to
Um,
tell you, this has been the best show ever.
really?
You should be very pleased with yourself.
Okay. I'm not quite sure why it ranks as best, but every show is good.
Every show is good, but this one has been remarkable.
Ah.
What
I'm
is
not
it
just
that's
saying
made
that
it
to
so
CYA.
different?
What?
What's been so different about it? Is it just the quality of posts or the chatter in between posts, or
Yeah, like the energy level, like we're all old friends kidding each other, at the sandwich shop, horsing around outside the front door, making the owner irritated. That kind of vibe. I think it's just lovely, and there's been such a broad, um, yeah, just people we don't hear from
We do get
every
a wide
time.
variety of posts, which is really nice to see.
Yeah. And everybody just kind of like teases each other and runs along with it, and it's been really lovely. And I've kind of been a nervous wreck today, so it helped me feel better just being here, so thank you guys.
We can't have you wrecking out.
Yikes.
Yes, like 2 is a good Apex alternative. It's the Instagram for the blockchain.
Yeah, especially since they redesigned the site a while back. Its first iteration that came out was a little bit bleak, very dismal and clunky. But when they redesigned it, revamped it, yeah, it's really sweet now.
Yeah, they dropped into the Hive space the other night. We're gonna try to get them onto the space to talk about like 2. This is one thing
And
that
there has been some clamoring about hopefully that they will create a mobile app. So if you talk to them again, please tell them that we've had 2 or 3 people asking about mobile app for like to.
yeah, a lot of people are gonna be asking about mobile for a lot of them. Um, we're trying to get as many of the dApps um, onto Hivespace because, of course, we're on Web 2 talking about Web 3. So it's a great way to introduce people to the broad amount of dApps that they can access just by getting on one blockchain. And it is indeed a broad number. James, I have you on the list here. Did you have another post you wanted to share? Is he still with us? Or was he back on the phone? Oh, he may be tied up. I don't see him responding. Okay. And Old School had a post that he wanted to share. Old School can't use voice where his location is. And are you going to post? Okay. We're going to need to wrap up because I've got to be in a show in a room on Clubhouse in 15 minutes. You've been listening to Shadows Pub host, Pimp Your Post Thursday. Thank you for joining us on PYPT and join us next Thursday at 12 o'clock Eastern. Till then, keep on creating and yep, it's all about community and oh yeah. Bye Wilma!